if I go here, fetch command file1.txt. A file got created, but what are the permissions assigned by default? File1 shouldn't. What are the permissions given? Read, write, read, read. Read, write, read, read. Likewise, if you say mkdir and a directory by the name, let's say Lenovo. Again, ls minus l. Directory shouldn't be. What are the permissions given? Read, write, execute, read and execute, and read and. So how come we are not assigning any permissions, but still we're getting some of the permissions assigned by default? How are these getting assigned, and why only those permissions are getting assigned? It's got an interview question on that. Why and how the permissions are assigned by default to a Linux machine? Which are those? Okay. How are they assigned, and why are only they getting assigned? Okay, let's understand. So, read permission on a file name. What is read? Let's say I got a document here, document1.txt, and I got some data here. Right? Welcome to Linux classes, something like this. Now, whichever file has a read permission, you can see the content of that file. And if this file has permissions read for the owner, group, and all the other users, everyone can see the content of this file. What about write? The file, if it has write permission, it means that the person who got write permission, he can edit the file, delete the content or add the content, whatever he wants to. Mostly owners has the permission to edit the file, not everyone. Execute permission. What is execute permission? If a file has content here which is executable, meaning there are some shell commands or whatever, that to run those commands and get the output of those commands, we add executable permissions on the files. Coming to directories, why do directories have executable permission? Let's say this is directory 1, and I'm finding on this directory 1, there is executable permission. Read, write, execute. Why execute on a directory? A directory look మీరు వెళ్ళాలన్నా a directory నుండి మీరు బయటికి రావాలన్నప్పుడు you are writing some commands, right? cd into directory 1, cd space dot. You are getting into a directory and you're coming outside the directory because it has executable permission. If there is no executable permission, it's not possible for us to get into a folder. See here, if I say chmod a minus 6, and what's this? A meaning all the users, owners, group, and other users. I'm saying remove executable permissions on the directory Lenovo. And now if I say try to cd into directory, cd into Lenovo, what's happening? Permission denied. It is because a directory, if it has executable permission, then only you're diving into it, then only you're getting out of it. Execute like a directory locally well. And directory has a write permission to directory or write in it. If you want to create a file inside a directory, or you want to create a directory within a directory, you should have write privilege here. Okay, so let me add chmod, let's say a plus x on Lenovo, and now chmod a minus w on Lenovo. I'm removing write permission. Now I have the privilege to get into Lenovo directory, but do I have a privilege to write here? Let's say fetch command new file.txt. What is it saying? Permission denied, because I have the privilege to get into the folder, but I don't have a privilege to write anything into that. So, because write privilege, we removed it from the directory. Write privilege, if you remove from a file, you don't have any option to add data into the file. So this way, we got 3 permissions. Question ఏంటంటే, why do we have మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంటే by default read, write, no execute, read, no write, no execute to group, read, no write, no execute. Likewise, read, write, execute, read, no write, but execute, and again, read, no write, but execute. There are permissions coming from a file and for a directory. Why? Why? And just go ahead and, read number entandi 4, right? 2, execute. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 7. So now, these permissions, if we convert to numbers, what do we get here? 7. Tarvata, read and execute is 4 plus 1, 5. right? And again 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. అంటే మీరు ఒక డైరెక్టరీ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంటే the permissions you're getting are 755. Likewise, when you're creating a file, by default the permissions that you're getting are read and write is equal to 6, 4, 4 permissions. Why are we getting these permissions by default? Okay. Linux actual community ఏం చెప్తుందంటే you should have for a file 666 permissions ఉండాలి. అట్లాగే డైరెక్ట్లీ 777 permissions రావాలి. This is what the community of Linux says. Whenever someone creates a file, the file should have read, write, read, write, read, write. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, and execute. కానీ మనకి వస్తున్నాయి ఈ నెంబర్స్ వస్తాయి. Not what's it 666, not 777. Why is that? Means it's all because of there's something called a umask value. It's all because there is something called a umask value. So if we go to this server and if we say umask, మీకు ఇక్కడ ఒక నెంబర్ వస్తుందండి చూడండి. What's the number given? 0022. So now subtract 0022 from this 666. Subtract 0022 from this 777. Then what are you getting? Yeah, friends, then what result do we get? 666 minus 0022. 777 minus 0022. 722. So because of the umask value set in your machine, you're getting these permissions for your file and for your directories. Okay. Umask value ni subtract చేయాలి from 666 and from 777. Then you get these default values. These default values are being assigned to your files and for your directories as default permissions. మీరు assign చేయాలన్నా remove చేయాలన్నా permissions, we got a command chmod command. To the owner ki permissions remove చేయాలంటే U. Group వచ్చేసి G, and for other users letter O. Plus or minus you can use to assign a permission or remove a permission. Likewise, you can go with either numbers too, like your chmod 700. What is 700? Let's say if I go to this file and say chmod 700 on the file new file.txt. Okay, new file later. Wow, great. Oh, sorry. Let's go back. chmod 700 on the file new file.txt. 100. Great. Okay, chmod 700 on student.txt. Now what happens? The permissions are available, read, write, and execute to student only for the owner. Group and other users are not having any permissions. Say student.txt, read, write, and execute only to the owner. So you can assign or remove permissions with the numbering. Likewise, let's say chmod 555 on Lenovo. 5, read and execute. So on the directory Lenovo, we got only read and execute to the owner, read and execute to group, and read and execute to other users. Okay, friends. So this way you can assign or remove permissions for Linux, and yeah, this is all about it. Okay, assigning and removing permissions. Now let's talk about installing packages and removing packages in Linux. Yeah, so DevOps teams, I think you install a lot of things, right? Maven, right? Tomcat, Jenkins, and so on. So how do you install things in a Linux machine? Yeah, friends, how are we installing things in a Linux machine? Ubuntu servers right? Ubuntu servers or Amazon Linux? Amazon Linux, okay. So if I were to install a package called tree, how do you install tree package on a Linux machine? How to install a package by the name elinx on a Linux machine? How to install Maven on a Linux machine? wget ఒక లింక్ అడ్రస్ తెస్తున్నారు. After that, you're extracting it and then you're installing it manually. కాకపోతే ఇక్కడ మీకు let me explain something. See, on a mobile phone, if you were to install something, what do you do? Mobile lo మీరు ఏదైనా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి a software. Very good. Play Store. Where are we going? Either to a Play Store or an App Store. And based on the mobile, what's the technology? Let's say If it's an Android phone, if it is Android phone, you're going to Play Store. If it is iPhone, you reach to App Store, right? iPhone అయితే App Store, Android అయితే Play Store. Why is that? Why not install things directly? Let's say another website ఉందనుకుందాం. In my website, there are a lot of softwares available. And I'm asking you to install, what's it, from my website. ఏదో ఒక APK package download చేసుకొని install చేయమని. And you're trying to, but your phones are not accepting. Why? What is the reason? Yeah, friends. What's the reason? Why we go only with app stores and play stores? Install చేయకూడదని ఏం లేదు. If I want to install some software which is not available in App Store, I can download the software and install it on my mobile phone. But my mobile phone says, boss, you are installing some, what say, unauthorized application. Yeah. If you want to install it at your own risk. But I'm not supporting this. And you have to go and turn some feature off saying allow unauthorized application installation in your mobile phone, and then it will install. సో ఎందుకు మనం ప్లే స్టోర్ యాప్ స్టోర్ ప్రిఫర్ చేస్తాం? అట్లనే వీటి నుండి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు మనకి ఎలాంటి ఎర్రర్ రాదు. యూఆర్ నాట్ గివెన్ ఎనీ వాట్స్ ఎ వార్నింగ్, యూఆర్ ఇన్స్టాలింగ్ సమ్ డేంజరస్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్, నథింగ్ ఎల్స్. సో ఇట్స్ బికాస్ ప్లే స్టోర్ అనేది గూగుల్ వాడు, యాప్ స్టోర్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు వాట్స్ ఏ యాపిల్. దే మీరు లెట్స్ సే యు ఆర్ ఎ డెవలపర్, యు డెవలప్ ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్. Now to make your software available to everyone, what should you do? You have to first upload to or submit it to Play Store. మీరు ప్లే స్టోర్ సబ్మిట్ చేసినప్పుడు వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడంటే దే ఎవాల్యుయేట్ యువర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్. ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ని ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేస్తాడు. ఎవాల్యుయేట్ చేసి ఈజ్ ఇట్ మ్యాచింగ్ ద క్రైటీరియా ఇన్ ఆల్ టర్మ్స్. వాడికి ఒక చెక్ లిస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ చెక్ లిస్ట్ లో మీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అనేది కంపాటబుల్ ఉందా లేదా చెక్ చేస్తారు. And they find if your software is compatible, meeting all their standards, then only they add your application to Play Store or App Store. If not, they just reject it. So ilaga prati software kuda they evaluate it at Play Store. Once they find those softwares are those softwares are flexible, meaning safe and safe, then only they are adding to Play Store. అందుకే మనం ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే we are not being questioned. You're installing some what's a malicious software, nothing as such, because those are all tested, scrutinized, and then we are installing them. Okay. So now coming to the discussion again, similar to what's a Play Store and App Store, every Linux machine has its own package manager. Every Linux machines have their own package managers. So Amazon Linux lo emundandi package manager, yum package manager, isn't it? Sudo yum update, sudo yum install -y, you're doing some installations, right? So yum is the package manager for Amazon Linux, CentOS, Red Hat VTK. Ubuntu వచ్చేసి apt or apt get. These are the package managers for Ubuntu. Next, we got package managers for, let's say, Alpine Linux. What is the package manager? APK, right? And so on. DNF and a package manager, DNF, and so on. These are all the different package managers for different flavors of Linux operating systems. And what do they contain? Yum package manager gani, apt-get gani, వీటన్నిటిలో ఏముంటాయంటే they are all holding a bunch of valid softwares for those respective machines. అంటే మీరు ఒక Ubuntu server create చేశారు. That Ubuntu server has a huge pile of package listing. Which చూడండి ఇక్కడ, if I go and say apt list, పెద్ద list వస్తుందండి. These are all the pile of softwares that are compatible for your, let's say, Linux machine. For this Ubuntu Linux machine, these are all the packages that are tested, reviewed, and added into this apt package listing. Right? There's a huge list. If you can cancel, good over the list. Got to close it again. Fine. So out of that listing, when you install softwares, what happens is you're installing some trustworthy softwares. So you got to ensure that when you're installing things on a Linux machine, always prefer to go by installing from the package managers. కానీ అన్ని ప్యాకేజెస్ మనకి అందులో ఉంటాయి అనేది లేదు, నో గ్యారంటీ. right? So let's say apt list, and here, if I go with grep minus I sonar cube, again result వస్తుందండి sonar cube, nope. So apt list grep minus I, and if I try to look for a software by the name, let's say Terraform. Yeah, so there is a Terraform related stuff available. And I already installed Terraform. That's where we're getting some information. Likewise, if you want to find which softwares are already installed, apt list and shipping dash installed. What are the softwares that are already installed? You find them over here. Ivanni already installed అయిపోయింది. ఈ లిస్ట్ లో ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. Python already installed అయ్యిందా? Let's say grep minus I Python. So you find Python already installed, right? So this way, there is a package manager through which we install packages into a Linux machine. Even install చేయాలంటే ముందు మీరు what should you do? You first should search apt list and then do a search here grep minus I and say nginx. Let's see, nginx is available. Yeah, nginx is available. It's compatible. It's listed in what say apt package manager. Now all you got to do is just write a command apt install minus y, let's say nginx, nginx. But what happened here? We're getting an error. ఎందుకు వస్తుందండి error ఇక్కడ? What is the reason? Permission denied. Are you root user? Yeah. Linux is asking, boss, you're running a command, but you're not the authorized user. Yeah. There is a permission restriction. Are you a root user? So in order to run some of the commands, you should be a root user or a privileged user. So that's where what's happening. We're getting some error. So ఒకసారి చూడండి, what is ls command? And some response వస్తుంది. What is pwd command? You're getting some response. What is mkdir command? You're getting some response. What is user add command? You're getting some response. What is apt? You're getting some response, right? So now, do you find any difference? And focus on the commands only. Result వద్దులేండి, command చూడండి. Commands చూసి మీరు చెప్పండి any result, any what's the difference you're finding for ls, pwds, mkdir, user add and apt? Numbers, very good. ls command key, we got number 1. pwd command key, number 1. mkdir, number 1. But coming to user add, number 8, and apt number 8. So what to understand here means Linux commands are actually grouped into 8 categories. Group 1, group 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And remember, whenever you're encountering 8th group commands, they should be executed only by some privileged user or a root user only. Rest of all the commands are open to everyone. But 8th group commands should be executed only by some privileged users. So అందుకే నేను ఇక్కడ apt update అంటుంటే what's happening? I'm getting an error here. apt update. What's happening? I'm getting an error. Are you root? Permission denied. Why? Because the user here I logged in is as support, and support is just a normal guy. The dollar sign చూస్తే, you're getting it clear, right? Dollar sign represents that the user logged in here is a normal user. So as a normal user, I don't have privilege to run such commands. Then what is the approach? How should I run the command? Means that if at all I'm added to a sudoers group, and ఇప్పుడు చూడండి WhatsApp లో మనందరం friends, I'm the administrator, and I set a message saying that only administrators should send message. And ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక్కనే మెసేజ్ చేయగలను దాంట్లో, and you're all just consumers. You just consume the message that I type over there. But my requirement is to turn one of you. Let's say I want to turn I want to turn one of you as administrator. Then what should I do? I have to add you to admin group. When I add him to admin group, what happens? He is also sending messages over there. కాకపోతే ముందు మీరు ఆ admin group లో నేను యాడ్ చేయబడి ఉండాలి, లేకపోతే లేదు, not possible, right? So remember team, there is a group by the name sudo, and by default support అనేది user already he is added to sudoers group by default. Okay, Linux operating systems గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నప్పుడు Always get this picture in mind that, say friends, let me just go and say draw.io. And in Linux operating systems, we get just a second. Let me get this clear view. As I said, you got to think of it as an apartment structure. Hey, the apartment. There is some builder who is the owner of this apartment. And our owner name, let's think of him as a root guy. ఒక builder ఉన్నాడు. He is the owner of that entire apartment. His name is root. Now, this builder guy, what he did is he assigned a subordinator. Let's say he assigned some guy, some manager here. And he said, hey buddy, you got to sell everything. ఈ అపార్ట్మెంట్ లో ఉన్న ఫ్లాట్స్ అన్ని కూడా వాటిని సెల్ చేసే రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ లేదా రెంట్ కి ఇచ్చే రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ అంతా నీది. So now what happens here is whenever you connect to a Linux machine, you find a user, right? ఇప్పుడు EC2 minus user అని చెప్పి వస్తుంది మీకు when you're connecting to Amazon Linux. When you connect to Ubuntu server, you find a user Ubuntu, right? Whenever you're connecting to some server, what's happening here? You're already connecting to that server as some user account. But the user access given to you is not root, but some normal user. And remember, this guy is already added to sudoers. Okay, we do already kuda. He's added by default to the sudoers group. Already he is in sudo group. So that's where now you don't need to worry about running the commands in this Linux machine as this normal user, some admin commands. When the commands are failing, just go ahead and prefix sudo. Just go say sudo apt update. A command is easier or not. Because this is the initial arrangement already done by Linux. Whenever you connect to a Linux server, some default user is already added to sudoers privilege. Okay, and this guy has a total privilege to run or control this Linux machine. Okay, but he got to use his privilege. We do a privilege things again won't work for him. Let's say here sudo apt install. If he is not using a sudo privilege, apt install minus y tree, what happens? He's getting an error. But if we run the same command prefixing sudo, we go and prefix sudo here and run the command. Now what's happening? Now the package is getting installations, creating users, deleting users, any sort of admin activities. 8th group commands with Linux lo run cheyalante, just get this picture in mind. Either you should be some user with a privilege or a root guy. Okay, let's say if I'm creating a user account to Swaroop. Now Swaroop is a user, but is he an administrator? Swaroop administrator? No. Swaroop ki ana sudo privilege unda? No. Then what should I do if I want Swaroop to behave like this Ubuntu user? All I have to do is add him to a group called sudoers group. If not, no, things won't work. All I got to do is add Swaroop to a group called sudo group. Then Swaroop also behaves like an admin, and he also performs Linux administration activities, prefixing sudo privilege for his commands. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we assign a user to some sudoers group? That's the discussion for the next time. Okay, so over here you can find I installed a package by the name tree. What is tree, Andy? What is the package tree in Linux? Tree package and Andy. Now let's say one argument help create Nginx. So what is it saying? Helm create name flags. Okay, Helm create Nginx. Yeah, it's a command helm create Nginx dot. This is a command. Just a second. We'll create it. I'll create name flags. Okay. Minus p. Minus h. Okay. I'll create minus h. Just a second, friend. Minus h. Okay. So I'll create nginx dot one argument. Okay. I'll create nginx minus y. No, not required. We'll attempt to create as the given destination exists. In the current, yeah, I'm giving the current directory only. I'll create nginx. I'll create nginx dot in the current working directory, at least one argument. Yeah, okay. So we don't need a dot. Okay. Fine. Have a look, friends. Here, there is a folder created which is nginx, right? Now, what is present in that nginx? What should we do? cd into nginx and then ls command. Again, you find some subfolders. In those subfolders, what is present? What to do? Again, you go to cd. Instead of that, you can simply say tree space nginx. What's happening? We're getting the entire directory structure nginx. Within nginx, there is a charts directory, chart.yaml, and templates. Inside templates, again, there is a subcontent. Yeah, Ansible playbooks, Ansible roles concept, where when you create a role, you get some directory structure. What and all the directories and subdirectories can easily find them with a tree command. Excuse me, team. Hello. So నేను చూస్తానండి ఒక హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ లో కాల్ చేస్తాను. Thank you. Yeah, team. So this is what a tree command just gives you a structure of what data is present inside a directory and all its subdirectories. Okay. Yeah. So now I want to install a tool here by the name Apache 2. Then what to do? Again, apt list and let's check for grep minus I Apache 2. A package on there shouldn't. If it's available, then you're good. Apache 2 is available. Just go ahead and simply say apt install minus y sudo because sudo apt install minus y Apache 2. And that's it. A package gets now installed. Apache 2 already install అయిపోతుంది. At times, when you are not finding the packages, then you can go by getting them downloaded from the internet. Like say Maven. What you do, Maven download, and you can go here and click Maven download. And then what you do here, download the zip file, extract it, OPT directory. I think you go to OPT directory, extract it, get into the bin directory, find MVN, and add that path entire path to path. What's a variable, right? Environment variable called path. So that is one approach where you can install things directly, but mostly we got to prefer to install things from the what's a package manager only. So if you install అయితే అయినాయండి, let's say sudo find, let me just check sudo find / minus name and here Apache 2. Let's see, Apache 2 is installed and these are all the different locations where Apache 2 files are present. మీరు విండోస్ లో ఏదైనా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయండి విండోస్ లో ద ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ ఫైల్స్ వేర్ ఆర్ ద ప్రెసెంట్ సే ఇన్స్టాల్ సంథింగ్ ఆన్ విండోస్ మెషిన్ యా క్రోమ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశాను వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ ఆన్ విండోస్ మెషిన్ ఇఫ్ ఐ గో టు సి డ్రైవ్ యా ఈ సి డ్రైవ్కి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ మనకి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఫైల్స్ అనే డైరెక్టరీ ఉంటుంది. In this program files directory, you find all your installed files. Like say Google Chrome, Google Chrome related data anta kuda, I mean all the dependency files are present here. Likewise, if you install Java on a Windows machine, C drive program files Java ane directory lo all Java related content, JDK, everything are present here, right? But coming to Linux machines are a bit different. మీరు ఏదైనా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తే లైనక్స్ ఏమవుతుందంటే Linux file system has a lot of subdirectories, and into those subdirectories the data is segregated. Root and a main directory on this, similar to C drive on a Windows machine. Under that root directory, there are a lot of subdirectories present. What are they? Under that root directory, there are a lot of subdirectories present, like bin, boot, dev, etc, home, yeah, lib directory, var directory, run directory, right? And so on and on and on. Home directory, right? And so on. So, మీరు ఏదైనా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు Linux ఏమవుతుంది, some content gets into bin, some content gets into dev, some content gets into home, some content gets into var, and so on. According to the behavior of those files, the content is separated. So now, if you observe here, when we installed a package called Apache 2, Apache 2's presence is in all these different locations. Sorry, in different locations lo Apache 2 installation files presence on them. Now, when you were to uninstall something on a Linux machine, installing is easy, uninstalling is very important to know. మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఇది అన్ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలంటే now what to do? Sudo apt remove Apache 2. Once you hit enter, now Apache 2, whatever is installed, that now gets removed. Apache 2 is getting removed. But the thing is, Apache 2 is not completely removed. అది రిమూవ్ అయ్యింది, but not completely. So you can find sudo systemctl status Apache 2. You find Apache 2 is removed. Status spelling wrong. Apache 2 అనేది రిమూవ్ అయిపోయిందండి. See, failed to connect bus, host is down. Right, but the thing is, if you search for Apache 2 related files, you still find those files present. Those files are still present. Why is that? Means when you install something in a Linux machine, they are all added to different locations. And when you remove, only that application is removed, not the residual items. In order to remove those residual items, and మీరు అడగచ్చు, already uninstall అయిపోయింది కదా, what's the problem? Uninstall అయిపోయింది. The next time when you install Apache 2, what happens is, it gets installed with all the older files present. అంటే నేను ఇక్కడ Apache 2 అనే application install చేసి, I changed the port of that application to, let's say, some 9090. Apache 2 default port is 80, but I changed it to 9090. And my project is over and I removed Apache 2. And after a while, I'm installing again Apache 2. Now what happens is, a second Apache 2 నేను install చేసినప్పుడు, I'm expecting it to run on port 80, whereas it still is available on port number 9090. ఎందుకంటే పాత ఫైల్స్ అట్లా ఉండిపోయి, what do? They dominate the existing installation. So that's where when you remove something in a Linux machine, you have to remove all those residual items too. So for that, we got a bunch of commands. Sudo apt-get purge Apache 2. Itla command andi. Apt-get purge Apache 2. And now some of the content is the cloud shell, but it's throwing some errors, but no issues. Let's see. Yeah, likewise, sudo apt auto remove. Even other files and remove అయిపోతూ ఉంటాయి. Likewise, there are a bunch of commands that we got to run over and over again to clean up everything. Likewise, sudo apt clean, sudo apt get auto remove. ఇలా కొన్ని commands and additional గా మీరు రాస్తే, what happens? Some of those residual items gets totally removed. Okay, ఉన్న residual items అన్ని కూడా remove అయిపోతాయి. Now again, let's say history command రాద్దాం ఒకసారి. These are all the commands. Now I just want to run this command one more time. 1037 kada. Just add an exclamation and say 1037. The command at 1037 level gets executed. Such the only. Let's see. Chusar inka etc Apache 2. Chala varaku clean అయిపోయింది, but there is one directory which is still having Apache 2 content. Right now, if I want to remove that too, what should I do? Marla edo command rayali. Just go apt and let's see. List command packages, show on the search on the install remove packages. Likewise, apt get ఒకసారి చూద్దామండి. apt get లో ఏముంది? apt-get లో remove configurations కూడా ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది list packages. Excuse me. Remove packages and configuration files, keep purge. So again, let me do sudo apt-get purge Apache 2. Apache 2. Then what happens? All the configuration files also gets removed. Kapote is cloud shell kabatti, there is some challenge which is it's saying Apache 2 is not installed, so not removed. Already remove అయిపోయింది, but still we are finding in etc directory Apache 2. ఈ Apache 2 డైరెక్టరీని ఇంకా మీరు మాన్యువల్ గా వెళ్ళి డిలీట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Yeah, let's go and say rm space minus r Apache 2. Let's include sudo and that's it. It's done. Now if you again run the command find command, let's go and run this find command one more time. 1049 kada exclamation 1049. Whatever is the command at that level that gets executed, and now you find no more Apache 2 related stuff. Okay, so when you're installing, installations are very easy. When you're removing, you have to remove all the content. లేదంటే మాత్రం Linux plays with you, right? And మీరు కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్ ఏవైతే చేంజ్ చేశారో పాత ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ కి అవే అప్లై అయిపోతాయండి కొత్తగా మీరు ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు. దట్స్ వేర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమూవ్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. ఓకే, సో some commands at Linux level, you should do a deep dive. Some of the commands are sufficient for us. Whatever we are learning now, these are sufficient. Like for DevOps journey, installing things, removing things, create users, delete users, starting a service, stopping a service. These are sufficient for us. Okay, and now how to create a user? Yeah, how to create a user in Linux? What's the approach? User add command. Let's say user add command. And again, if you say what is user add, student, this command also belongs to group 8, meaning create a user or update user information. It happens only with the sudo privilege, right? Create a user or update a user. So now what we do here is let's go and say sudo user add, and I'm adding a user by the name Swaroop, and a user gets created. And if you want to connect to that user, what should you do? Just say su switch user Swaroop. But when you try to switch to user Swaroop, it asks you for a password. So అందుకే మీరు user create చేసినప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే you have to add a password to that user. So sudo password Swaroop. Let's add a password 1234 1234. Now the password to Swaroop got successfully updated. Now let's connect to the user account Swaroop. Sudo switch user Swaroop. And once you hit enter, now you are into Swaroop's account. Actually, ఇక్కడ మనల్ని password అడగాలండి. It didn't ask for a password. Now you are connected as Swaroop at the rate cloud shell. But remember, when you're creating user accounts, you're not just supposed to write a simple command, sudo user add and a username. You have to add some more additional information, right? Like actually user add command at the let me show you. Sudo user add -s /bin bash -m -d /home/ let's say Kumar, right? Next -c. Kumar is a developer, so I'm adding a comment developer, and then and once I hit enter, now a user account gets created. Okay, it's already present. Let me go with a Kumar 123 something like that, and towards the end to Kumar 123. And if we hit enter, what happens? Oh, wow, Kumar 123 good on the. Let's see cd to /home and less command. Oh, chala users in my Linux machine. In this machine, there are a lot of users present there. So let's delete some of the users. Sudo user del command to delete users. Sudo user del, and let's say Swapna. Okay, Swapna. A user account should get deleted. I think we deleted some of the users already. Directories undupoyinayi. Let's say rm space minus rm space star. What is it saying? Permission denied. Okay, let me go and say sudo rm space minus rm space star. Of course, everything won't get deleted. except what's a support directory. Rest of all, I believe they're deleted. Yeah, unless command. What is it saying? No such file or directory. Okay. So it got compromised. Let me do one thing. Exit IE, marla connect. Since it's a cloud shell, it gets again retained. Excuse me. Yeah. So here, what happened? I got my workspace deleted. Fine, no problem. Sudo user add -s /bin/bash -c, add a comment, let's say some developer, minus what's a m-d /home/Kiran Nandamu, Kiran. Enter. And now what happened? A user account to Kiran got successfully deleted. Sorry, created. Now let's switch to Kiran account, sudo su Kiran. When you switch to Kiran, see, we are connected as Kiran. And if we go click type cd, we are taken to Kiran's workspace. For Kiran, there is a workspace added /home/Kiran. And he can create all his files in this location called /home/Kiran. So when you create accounts, so this is what the approach, friends, you got to follow. So చూడండి ఇక్కడ Kiran అనే user ఉన్నారు. And user Kiran has Kiran is a developer. ఇక్కడ మీకు information అంత వస్తుంది అనమాట. Kiran is a developer. And Kiran has a workspace /home/Kiran. And Kiran is assigned with a shell type bin bash. Okay. So if you don't write a command, just simply say sudo user add and Swaroop 123 Swaroop 2 and now. A user account gets created, but what happens is, sorry, I got exit as Kiran and yeah. Sudo user add Swaroop and now. And if I create a user, what happens is if I switch to Swaroop's account, su or let's say sudo su Swaroop 2, I'm inside Swaroop's account, but here Swaroop does not have his workspace. cd to /home/Swaroop 2. Shouldn't what's happening? He's not given a workspace. So ఎప్పుడైనా Linux commands రాసేటప్పుడు, what should we do? We have to add more additional attributes. If you're not adding, you face some consequences. Okay, but Swaroop 2 on a user account, there is no workspace at all. He cannot create any files in this Linux machine. Yeah. So all we have to do is make sure when we create user accounts, if you open a manual page of any command, you get all the options available here. The user account create చేయాలంటే ఏమేమి options మీరు include చేయొచ్చు. You're given all such good options here, and you can explore all those options and then get your accounts created. Like say, friends, for example, we are all working for some software company. Yeah. And for all of you, I created some user accounts. Now, what happened is, let's say, some delegate from the US, they're visiting us to give some sort of training for a new project. So now that delegate's account should be created in our server, in our in our on-premise servers. We got to create a user account for her. Let's say Sarah from US, we got to create a user account for her because she got to work along with us in our servers and she got to train us. Now, after 2 weeks, Sarah is again flying back to US. Right? So I want that account to be active only for 2 weeks. After that, I don't want her account active anymore. So in such cases, if you observe here, you're given an option like how many days you want the account of the user to be working. Choose expiry date, inactive. So account any రోజులు active ఉండదు. I want the account to be active only for a couple of days. After that, I don't want the account to be running anymore. Expiry date, I want the account to be expired after a couple of days. Passwords, student, we all use the net banking. Net banking after 2 weeks, after 2 months, what happens? The net banking software asks you to change the password. Your password is about to expire. Change it now. Yeah, your password is already expired. Change it right away. Right. So that way, what you do here, you can add different options for your user add command and create your user accounts by enabling some of these options. The options aim పెట్టుకున్న మీరు user create చేయొచ్చు, but the problem is the user gets only limited privilege. See now, Swaroop is not having any workspace. See, Swaroop doesn't have any workspace. So all the files he got to create is in some location like a temp directory or so. So when he creates content in some temp directory, what happens? If the server is crashed, all the data in the temp directory also might get crashed. right? So these are the concepts, friends, that you got to understand at Linux level. And let's now dive into shell scripting concepts too. Okay, let's understand what is a shell script, how to write shell scripts. Okay, today and tomorrow, I'll extend the class for some time today. Tomorrow too, we'll get an end to shell scripting sessions. Okay, so what is shell scripting, by the way? Yeah, what is shell scripting? Go ahead. To execute commands. Okay, so shell script is nothing but I would say shell script is nothing but a document, a normal document. But that document has some executable content. And మనం రెగ్యులర్ గా ఫైల్స్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాము, a shell script is also simple document, but it has some executable content. And a regular data కాకుండా, like let's say here, if I create a file, let me just go to cd to temp directory. Excuse me. Yeah, friends. So over here, I'm creating a file nano and file 1.txt. And here I'm adding some data like Esther, right? Keshav, right? And Kalyan and Prasanna Kumar. Control O to save, Control X to exit. Yeah, a file got created here, file 1.txt. Now I'm creating again another file, nano, file 2.txt. And here I'm adding ls command, pwd command, uname command, whoami command, right? Echo, hello world command. Control O, Control X. Now, both the files, you tell me which one is a shell script, which one is a normal file. File 2.txt is a shell script, file 1.txt is a normal file. So both are regular files for now. Okay, because shell scripts రాయాలంటే మీకు కొన్ని criteria ఉంది. When you write shell scripts, you should follow some rules. So now file 1.txt is a normal file. File 1.txt is a normal file. And file 2.txt is also a normal file for now. But you can turn it file to as a shell script because you added all the commands. And when you run this file, you want output for those commands. Then what to do? In that case, all we got to do is run this file with some different approach. How? Instead of saying cat, just say sh and then type file2.txt. Are you getting a response? So cat file2.txt and ఏమొస్తుంది, sh file2.txt and ఏమొస్తుంది? Is there a difference? Cat file2.txt is just reading the content of the file. But when you're saying sh file2.txt, you're getting the data, all the commands executed, and you're getting the result for those commands. Okay. So a document with some executable content is nothing but a shell script. But there are some rules that we got to follow when we write shell scripts. ఏంటంటే ఆ rules అంటే, first step, the file name should have extension .sh or .bash. Next step, every script should begin with a shebang line. Shebang line. What is a shebang line? Pound sign, exclamation, then dash and a line to start. The script should have, what's say, proper documentation. Excuse me. The script should have proper documentation. The script should have executable content only. And if a shell script రాసి మన పేర్లు రాసుకోవద్దండి. You should write only executable content. The script should have executable privilege. Script file ki మీరు executable privilege అనేది assign చేయాలి. Okay. And you got to run the script with absolute path or relative path or with these are the different approaches that you got to write your shell script and run your shell script. These rules and or conventions you got to follow. Don't just write a shell script directly. See, nano script1.sh. Add .sh extension to your script file. Next step, add a shebang line. ! exclamation /bin/bash. What does this line mean? Yeah, what does this line mean? So let me explain, friends. Say you all went to some restaurant, and the first day when you went to a restaurant, you had food. It was super delicious. The second day too, it's pretty good. But the third day when you went, you found that food is not tasting good. Then you asked someone there, what went wrong? Why the food is not so tasty like yesterday and the day before yesterday? And the guy said, our chef is not feeling well. So we hired some other guy, and the regular person is not preparing the food today. So, meaning some other guy is preparing the food, thereby you found a change. Likewise, in Linux too, whenever you run commands, there are different interpreters available in Linux. Say cat /etc/shells. These are all the different shell interpreters available. WinSH, WinBash, RBash, Dash, and so on. Even different interpreters, and they are interpreting your commands. Now, if at all this shell interpreter is assigned to you, what happens is you find some sort of change in the commands. And a result of check commands which a result of different a commands which a result different ఉంటుంది. ఈ interpreter interpret చేస్తే a command result అనేది కొంచెం different గా ఉంటుంది. Right? So that's where now there are multiple interpreters, and you're saying that whatever script I write, I want my commands to be executed by this interpreter only. Linux లో different interpreters ఉన్నాయి, but my requirement is my command should be executed by that interpreter. That's what you're saying with the what's it? Shebang line script1.sh. It is important, it's very important. Next step, followed by that documentation. What is your script all about? Simple shell script to print hello world. This is documentation, and I'm just adding some information. That's it. Let's say I have written a script, and now he is consuming it. He should know what logic have I written, or what is that script all about. And if explain cheyali kada. So this is where documentations are pretty important in the shell script, right? Author information. Who is writing this? I am writing the script, so I add my name and my email address. Why not? I add my name and my email address. Next, date created. When the script is created, you got to add date. Next, date modified. Idantha documentation and nothing rocket science here. And remarks. What is the script all about, and what are you trying to convey? All of that you got to add in a proper documentation. Now let's add our commands. ls command, pwd command, uname command, whoami command, echo, hello. Okay, I'm adding some data. Control O to save, Control X to exit. So we added .sh extension, isn't it? Yes. We added shebang line. Yes. We added documentation. We added executable content over. Now the next thing that we got to do is add executable privilege, meaning the script should have executable permission. But do we have executable permission on the script? Read, write, read. But even though you don't have executable permission on the script, you can run it just by typing /bin/bash space script1.sh. Directly interpreter in తీసుకొచ్చి మీరు script run చేయొచ్చు. లేదా chmod okay a+x on script1.sh, and now run the script with an absolute path. What is the absolute path? pwd type చేయండి. /temp, just type /tmp/ and then script1.sh, and you get the result. Or run the script with a relative path. What is relative path? Dot in Linux meaning the current directory, right? In the current directory, there is a script1.sh. You get the result. So these are the three approaches that you can run your shell scripts. Executable permission లేకుండా direct గా interpreter తీసుకొచ్చి run చేయొచ్చు లేదా executable permission యాడ్ చేసి you can run it with an absolute path or a relative path. Yeah, got it, friends. So why shell scripts? Means shell scripts simplify the job of we running the same commands or doing the same activity over and over again. And మీకు task ఇచ్చానండి నేను. Let's say I gave a task to you, which is you should collect the server metrics, storage information, RAM information, CPU, how many processes running, ఏ user login అయ్యాడు. I want to collect all this information, and this task should happen on a daily basis. ఇవాళ మార్నింగ్ మీరు లాగిన్ అవ్వగానే ఈ టాస్క్ జరగాలి. Tomorrow the same thing should happen. Day after tomorrow the same thing. Every day when you log into your machine, sir, every day at 9 o'clock I want some task to happen. If that is the case, how would you do? రోజు లాగిన్ అయిన తర్వాత లెట్స్ సే df -h స్టోరేజ్ కమాండ్, free -h ram కమాండ్, ps running process కమాండ్, రైట్, date users కమాండ్, who am I కమాండ్, ఇట్లా ఇవన్నీ కమాండ్స్ మీరు రన్ చేయాలంటే ఎవ్రీ డే ఫస్ట్ 2 days బాగానే ఉంటుందండి. ఫ్రమ్ ద థర్డ్ డే ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ లైక్లీ దట్ వి ఫర్గెట్ థింగ్స్, రైట్. రిపిటేటివ్ టాస్క్స్ ఏమవుతాయంటే అంటే వి ఫర్గెట్ ఆఫ్టెన్. సో దాట్స్ వేర్ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ దిస్ యాక్టివిటీ టు స్కిప్. Then what you do, you set a schedule and you attach it to the server so that the server, it does its job automatically. How? Let's see, friends. Let me show you here. Let's prepare a simple shell script. cp script 1.sh as the script 2.sh, and here what I do is nano script 2.sh. The script lo em chedamante, let's say I want to run all these commands. Just remove everything. Let's say echo server info on them, date, right? ps minus ps command ittamu. Next step, df -h command, likewise free -h command, and users command, who am I command. E commands నాకు every day run over. Control O to save, Control X to exit. Right now, let's run the script. ./script2.sh. మనకి information వస్తుంది. I want this information to be written to a file, let's say ./script2.sh. I want this information to be redirected to server metrics.log. Okay. And I want this to happen on a daily basis. Every day at 5 o'clock, this task should happen. So date chudandi. What's the date now? Our server date is Monday, 19th Feb 2024, 11:38. Okay. So there is a concept called cron tab -e. Just open this cron tab -e, and ikkada oka schedule పెట్టండి, something like this. ikkada meeku entante minutes, hours, day of the month, day of the week. You got to assign values here. When do you want some command to happen? So for now I'm adding star. What does this mean? Every minute what should happen? /tmp/ let's say script2.sh. I want it to be executed, and I want it to be redirected to server metrics.log. Okay. Control O to save, Control X to exit. And చూడండి temp directory లో మనకి server metrics.log file ఉంది కదా. Let's find 20 lines of data, 100 words, and 1125 characters of data present. So మనం ఏం చేస్తాం ఇక్కడ cron tab, just let me check once. Cron tab -e. Oh, sorry, I got to redirect this information to ఎక్కడికి redirect అవ్వాలంటే /tmp/ Control X. Now friends, ఈ temp directory లో ఉన్న ఈ ఫైల్ every minute ఈ script రన్ అవ్వాలి. ఆ script రన్ అయ్యి అవుట్పుట్ అంతా ఈ ఫైల్లో యాడ్ చేయాలి. Let's see wc server metrics.log. Currently 20 lines of data. 1 minute pass అయిన తర్వాత చూస్తే మీరు 40 lines of. Again after a minute you find 60 lines of data and so on. And మీరు schedule పెట్టారు, that schedule keeps on happening over and over and over again without your intervention. Right? So you make that schedule to మరి ఎంత తక్కువ టైం పెట్టాం కానీ we make it to, let's say, tomorrow 9 o'clock. Every day when you connect at 9 o'clock, some tasks should happen automatically in the backend. So DevOps lo manaki the main objective is you have to do things faster. You have to do things in a smarter approach. So for that, we should know some of these shortcuts. So let's see, once a minute passes, you should find the data getting updated. Right? So still, I think the minute is not yet passed. Let's say date command 11:41:01. Okay. Still 20 lines of data only. Maybe change out to that server metrics.log. Shortly, we should find cat server metrics.log. So line numbers enable them cat minus n. Still 20 lines of data only. Server metrics.log. Any mistake, Chesama? Front tab minus e. Star forward slash tmp slash scrapg2.sh redirected to slash tmp slash server metrics.log. Okay, it's fine. It's not working, and if for some reason it's not working. Google Cloud servers keep restrictions on them. If I do the same at AWS level, it works. Oh, running. So yesterday evening we did a project at Jenkins level, like let's say public IP code. So project intended, check out the code, perform a build activity, SonarQube code analysis generally, a quality gate should pass, and then build an image. Followed by that, the second set of activities that we're going to do the next weekend project. Like after an image is built, deploy that image to what's say either hub.docker.com or Amazon ECR. Next, what's say deploy the application to pre-production stage, and then finally release the application to Kubernetes cluster and monitoring. In the 5 stages of say the same CI/CD pipeline. We did the first part. Tomorrow, maybe the next weekend, we're going to do the second part. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to business here. Let me show you here. What I do is, you see, friends, cron tab minus E. Scroll down a bit. Yeah, here. What I do is, let me add stars. At least star is star. And here I'm saying date. I want this command to be redirected to, let's say, slash home slash ubuntu slash date.txt. Okay, control O to save, control X to exit. And now here, currently there is no file in slash home slash ubuntu, right? What happens after a minute passes, you should find a file created by the name date. And in that date file, the date.txt file, a date should be present. Every minute, the date should get written, overwritten over and over and over again. Let's see. 11:44 just a minute pass and we'll see. There should be a file created, and the file should be equipped with a date.txt, sorry, date command. Create date command 11:44 11:44 35 56. Date.txt create. And if you see cat date.txt, you find date present. After a minute passes, again you find one more line added to date.txt. But a minute passes, that's the third line, fourth line, fifth line. So if you leave this server running for a long time, if I let dynamic grow, every minute some data gets added to this file. Okay, this is nothing but enabling automation at a Linux level. See, this site of Gutpetkondi, this site helps you a lot. Frontab.guru, where you can schedule your you can find out your schedules. Like let's say tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I want something to happen. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, 0 minutes, 5 p.m. 17 and 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? 20. Month, what's the month tomorrow? February. Next day, what is the day? 1 is Monday, 2 Tuesday, 3 Wednesday, 4 Thursday, 5 Friday, 6 Saturday, 7 or 0 is Sunday. So 2 here. What is given here? చూడండి ఇక్కడ మనకి ఈ ప్యాటర్న్ మీనింగ్ ఏంటనేది మనకు తెలుసు. At 17, meaning at 5 o'clock on day of the month 20. Okay, and that should be Tuesday in February. In the month of February at 5 o'clock, which is 20th, and that should be Tuesday. What should happen? A తర్వాత మీరు command పెట్టుకుంటారు. What should happen? You add the command. So now, if we go back again to our EC2 instance, and if we say cat date.txt, మరలా pass అయిందా 1 minute pass అయింది. Again, second time, the date command is executed, and you're finding the output. Like that, every minute, this command keeps on happening over and over and over again. Yeah, this is a cron job in, let's say, Linux machines, right, team? So, shell scripts, we got to write a few shell scripts. What I do is I'll give you an assignment today. Okay, let's write some simple shell script where I want you all to, let's say, write some, do some assignment, okay, based on the task that I give you. See, friends, cat script2.sh. Sorry, let me go with the nano script2.sh. ఒకసారి ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఏం చేస్తుంది ఒకసారి మీరు గెస్ చేయండి. లెట్స్ సే what do you think? If I run the script, what output do I get? Yeah, set space minus x, set space plus x అన్నారు. What output do we get here? So ఇక్కడ అవుట్పుట్ ఏమొస్తుందంటే అండి మీకు, see, every command is printed as well as the output of the command. ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ అయితే మీకు కమాండ్ ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది, then you get the output too. Meaning, let's say there is a script written by someone, 200 lines of script ఉంది. The script run చేస్తేనే మీకు అంత అవుట్పుట్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. But you don't know which commands output is what. In such cases, you can enclose those commands in between set minus x and set space plus x. Minus x అనేది ఏంటంటే it's a minus x is to enable debug feature. Plus x అనేది disable చేస్తుంది. Okay. So next, let me just go again to nano script2.sh. Script లో మరలా ఏం చేద్దామంటే, let me just go and say ఇది చెప్పండి what happens now. Less than scrolling down and towards the end I'm saying, yeah, what it does, what output do we get now? No output. So no matter how many times I'm running the script, it's not giving any output. Why is that? Means this is a quick way of commenting multi-line comments in shell scripts. Whatever I did now is nothing but multi-line comment. Less than, you can add your name or just simply say comment there. ఇక్కడ ఈ less than sign add చేసి just say comment here. But you have to close the end too with the same characters. ఇక్కడ కూడా మీరు ఏం చేయాలండి, comment అన్న. Then whatever falls in between this line and this line, all that is treated as comment. The interpreter just ignores it. Okay, this is a quick way of adding multi-line comment in a shell. Now, friends, here I just write a very simple script. After that, we'll exit for today. Chudandi. Here, I'm going to write a simple shell script like this. Echo, hello there, what is your name? Hello there, what is your name? The script adugutundi mani, what is your name? Mar manam cheppali kada, we got to specify our name, meaning the script should take input from us. So for that, we got a keyword called read. And what read does, it takes input from us. Input తీసుకున్న తర్వాత what should we do? We have to preserve that input. So here I'm saying read space name. And the name అనేది ఒక box అనుకోండి. You're typing something in, the read command is asking you to type something. Immediately what this name does, it captures your name. Okay, after that I'm saying echo, and here I'm saying hello $name, welcome to shell classes. Welcome to shell classes. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు నేమ్ ఎంటర్ చేశారు కదా ఇక్కడ రీడ్ దగ్గర ఆ నేమ్ కీవర్డ్ ఏం చేస్తుంది మీరు టైప్ చేసిన నేమ్ ని క్యాప్చర్ చేస్తుంది నౌ ఎకో స్టేట్మెంట్ హియర్ ఇస్ సేయింగ్ హెలో డాలర్ నేమ్ అంటే ఆ నేమ్ కీవర్డ్ లోపల ఉన్న వాల్యూని బయటికి తీసుకొస్తుంది ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ యాడ్ డాలర్ నేమ్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ హెలో నేమ్ అనే ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది సో ఐ వాంట్ ద వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ వాట్ సే గివెన్ బై ద యూజర్ యాజ్ అవుట్పుట్ సో హియర్ ఆల్ వి గాట్ టు డు ఇస్ హెలో డాలర్ నేమ్ వెల్కమ్ టు షెల్ క్లాస్ లెట్స్ సీ హౌ ఇట్ బిహేవ్స్ if I run the script dot forward slash script2.set చూడండి ఒకసారి hello there what is your name cursor blink అవుతుందా read command అన్నమాట అది it's asking you for some input let's type a name here my name when I'm typing the name what happens is read space name అన్నాం కదా and name keyword ఏం చేస్తుందంటే it's capturing my name just think of name as a box and it's capturing my name into it right so in the next line what did I say hello dollar name అంటే ఈ నేమ్ వేరియబుల్ లోపల ఉన్న వాల్యూ బయటకు వస్తుంది సో అగైన్ హియర్ ఐమ్ గెటింగ్ hello Prashant welcome to shell classes so now based on this very basic example I want you to take a note of friends here ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఒకసారి రాసుకోండి not everything just these 3 lines just take a note of these 3 lines ఈ 3 lines రాసుకోండి మీరు I want you to prepare a slam books ఐడియా ఉన్నాయా చిన్నప్పుడు స్లామ్ బుక్స్ రాసే ఉంటాం కదా మనం లైక్ యూ గివ్ ఇట్ టు యువర్ ఫ్రెండ్ and in that book they ask all the details like what is your favorite color what's your favorite food what's your mobile number what's your address right I want you to prepare such a slam book ఈ లాజిక్ ని బేస్ చేసుకుని మీరు ఒక స్లామ్ బుక్ ప్రిపేర్ చేయండి yeah take this as an assignment and get it done or maybe some hospital application like say you went to a hospital what's your name right what's your age yeah what's the health problem right meaning the script should ask us like whatever comes to your thoughts I want you to give a try on this okay so once done with this we'll stop the discussion for today we'll continue tomorrow's session what we do we'll discuss if condition for loop while loop in shells sorry if condition case example for loop in shell scripts and then we get our discussions on Linux to an end okay the classes were actually from 13th till 19th I believe but yesterday last weekend manki problems ఉంది కాబట్టి I'm extending it to the next class tomorrow we have class till 4 till 6 o'clock and I'll completely wrap up all the shell discussions okay? At least 5:45 వరకు మీకు session తీసుకుని I'll end shell scripting yeah that completes your Linux classes okay yeah fine Tim you took the note of this right yeah fine yes so let's call it a day and continue in the session tomorrow again right
కూర్చున్నా కనపడతలే, నీ క్లాస్ ఉంది కూర్చున్నా. ఇంకేంటి?